Hey again. So, Dr. Isaacson said that we needed to know Poland for the upcoming quiz this Thursday, so if you don't have time to read it, this should hopefully get that out of the way for you. So, Poland can pretty much be summed up, or at least the part that we are studying, by nobles and the monarch fighting. Through dynastic marriage, Poland, which means that like two people from two different dynasties, royal dynasties, marry each other, Poland and Lithuania became one state in 1386 and officially merged in 1569. The dates do not matter. Don't bother memorizing them. Under the Jagiello dynasty. Sounds like jello. Again, don't bother with names. The consequence of this merge was the creation of the largest Christian kingdom at the start of the 1400s. And they also took over some of Ukraine, but that doesn't really matter to us. The power of Poland's monarch was severely limited by the government system in which the nobles had so much power over the king. There was no absolutism, that's for sure. The nobles' power allowed them to keep serfdom alive, and the government worked so that it was sort of like the Holy Roman Empire, where you had a bunch of electors. The nobles all pulled together and merged to be electors of the monarch, who would be super limited and would not bother them a lot. No taxation and stuff like that. You can be limited. The nobles are in charge, really. So, in 1572, the Jagiello dynasty came to an end as a new practice began, choosing outsiders as kings to create alliances. So they would elect their kings, right? Just like in the Holy Roman Empire. So they could elect anyone. It's not specifically limited to Poland or Lithuania. So to create an alliance, they'll bring in another king, say from Sweden, which is what happens, and therefore get a great ally. They gave the throne to the Swedish king, Sigismund III. The new king wanted to build a massive empire that would, according to his plans, but not according to reality, include Russia, Finland, Sweden, and Poland. Well, Poland including Lithuania. If I say Poland from now on, just assume I mean Lithuania as well, because they're one state. So not only did Poland fail epically, but they became weak and decentralized and a mess by the end of the 1600s. The Swedish Diet, called the Sejm, you should probably know this actually, S-E-J-M, Sejm, had incredible power over its kings, and this caused Poland's downfall. So there's a king who wants to create this vast empire, so he needs power to do that. And without absolutism, that's not happening. So not only did he just share power, he shared all his power. King Sigismund shared all his power with the Polish nobility. He shared power with the Sejm in terms of taxation, in terms of foreign policy, in terms of military policy, and in terms of appointing government officials. So he basically had no power without the nobles say so. The problem was that the nobles weren't all so on board with his idea of creating an empire. Maybe that could have worked if they were. But the real interest of most of the Sejm, the Polish Diet, the nobility, were only interested in ensuring the king stayed weak so that their own local interests would not be threatened, right? So in 1652, again, I can't stress this enough, names and dates do not matter. In 1652, the Liberum Veto, this probably does matter, no, the Liberum Veto, was accepted. The Liberum Veto meant that even one member of the Sejm, the Polish nobility, could stop any government meeting at any time if they disagreed with what was going on. So that, of course, made chaos, absolute chaos, because, just use America as an example. Imagine our political system if anybody who disagreed could shut down everything. We'd never get anything done. So Poland, everything shut down, everything was a mess, decentralized, and Poland became very similar to the Holy Roman Empire, where it was mostly independent, mostly run by nobles, independent nobles, and because there was no centralization, there was no one big power, just a bunch of sort of independent nobles, they ended up being invaded by everyone. So I'm not sure if you've heard the meme, there's this really good one about Poland not wanting to be invaded by a foreign superpower, and then every other foreign superpower laughing, which is hilarious because there's no better place to invade if you're a foreign superpower than to invade Poland. Poland is super invadable. It's practically got a welcome sign. So because there's no centralized power to fend off invaders would just come in there. But the thing is, Poland takes a lot of money to rule over, so much so that the Polish failed to do it. So these foreign invaders would not actually want to rule Poland. They just want to use it as their battlegrounds with other nations. So say France and England were having a war, where are they going to have that war? They don't want to have it on their own land because that's going to create a mess. Let's go to Poland. And they just go mess up Poland because screw Poland. Who needs Poland? Even Poland doesn't need Poland. So, oh yeah, and fun fact, Nazi Germany also invaded Poland. This is probably originally why it was so easy for Nazi Germany to invade Poland and why they were so weak always. That's about all. Good luck on the quiz.